Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Bitch Up. How y'all bitches doing this week?
You know what? A bitch is emotional, okay? She's PMSing, and the littlest thing makes me want to cry.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that to come out of your mouth with how enthusiastic you came into the pod right now. Like shooting and just very
Pew, pew,
hyperactive.
pew.
I was not expecting to say that you were an emotional mess. But I mean, if you're
She's
PMSing, then that makes sense.
she's an onion, babe. She's layered.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's
so
funny
funny.
because I was watching the Hot Ones interview with
Uh-huh.
I think it was Tom Holland and oh my God, what's his name? What is his name? John. He plays the Punisher and he's also in the Odyssey movie. John Bernthal, that's his name. So,
Okay.
anyways, I was watching the Hot Ones with Tom Holland and John Bernthal, and
Mhm.
John was telling a story about like this lady who changed his life. I think it was like a teacher, and how
Okay.
she just recently passed last year, and you can hear a little
Aw.
bit of emotion in his tone. And then I just was like, oh yeah. I got so emotional for even just a little tinge of like emotion that wasn't even now I'm gonna like start tearing up. So your girl's going through it, okay?
She's
She's just like
she's
any
tapping into
second.
feelings.
Yeah, any second. If you say anything that's like even like
You're like, "Yeah, if you do that again, I'm gonna bust out in
tears, yeah, my eyes are gonna start sweating.
tears." That's funny. I actually did cry earlier today too. I was catching up on one of my shows and there was like this particular scene and I was just like, "Oh, it was heartfelt," and I got emotional. I got like teary-eyed too and I was just like, "Oh, that's so sad." But whatever.
And now we're here.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
what's your bitch up moment this week?
So my bitch up moment this week is that I have obviously been trying to get back on like my health kick and my running kick.
Yes.
However, I've been experiencing a little bit more pain in my knee. I
Oh
don't know
no.
why I've been just waking up with knee pain, but I'm pretty sure it's just because of old injuries and because I'm not working out and strengthening.
Right.
So I've taken it upon myself to get the vitamins that I need to kickstart all of the health journey that I was on.
Okay.
So, and then as a girl who has PCOS, I'm trying to get that under control because that's probably why I'm also so fucking hormonal and emotional, apart from like being like
PMS. Yeah.
yeah, so my bitch up moment is that I bought my vitamins and everything I needed for this week, for the end of this week, and for next week to like kickstart that. So that's my bitch up, self care.
I love that. Okay, good. Hopefully you're feeling better within the next week or just as you
Yeah.
start taking your vitamins. And I'm sure once you start, I don't know, I guess like regulating your hormones in your body a little bit more and going back into like your physical routine and like you said, just
Yeah.
really strengthening to really
Your
help
girl
with
needs
that.
to get her testosterone under control because I can't with all these emotions, you know?
Wait, testosterone or to
Yeah. Isn't testosterone isn't it when you're PMSing is that your
no,
estrogen
yeah,
levels
it's
drop?
because I never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's because I heard testosterone. That's why I was like, wait, what?
I probably mispronounced that. My
I was
bad.
like, that's a new one. But anyway,
Testosterone? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we gotta get things in order. That's funny
Yeah.
because I was actually telling my boyfriend the other day, do you know what I'm gifting myself for my birthday this year? And he's like, what? And I was like, a physical. And he was just like, well, that's really good. And I was like, yeah, I figured like, I'm turning 33. I didn't get to do my physical earlier this year as I usually do at the beginning of the year. So I was just
Yeah.
like, let me
Let me go take care of
let
myself.
me yeah, let me go check in, say like, "Hey, how y'all doing?"
Let
and
me go
see
be
what's
an
going
adult.
on. No, literally, that's what he said too. And I was just like, yeah, it's like if that doesn't mean growth, I don't know what does. But yeah, so that's
Well, that's
funny.
good. So is that your
But
bitch up moment for the
no,
week?
no, because I did this like weeks ago.
Oh,
But
okay.
like I had looked into scheduling an appointment weeks ago. So I'm just like, I just thought it was funny because you were talking about just like, taking care of yourself and like
Mhm.
I think as we get older that becomes more real. And yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, my bitch moment this week is actually that, well, it includes you again. Look at us. Last time it was the jujitsu thing.
Oh,
Yeah, my bitch up moment is that I had a photo shoot for my birthday. It was my first birthday. Well, I was gonna say it's my first birthday photo shoot, but that's a lie because I had a lot when I was younger, and somewhere along the way, I stopped doing them.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I was a child, that's what I would do. Like my Ninos would pick me up, we would go buy an outfit, and we would just go and like choose like a location, and then we would go and do our little photo shoot. But anyways, yeah, this year Lucy had proposed if I wanted to do a photo shoot for my birthday, and she would, of course, shoot it.
Mhm.
And I said yes. And then I think I wasn't like anxious, but I think I was kind of like, regretting saying yes as we got closer to it, only because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. And it was really because I hadn't gotten the outfit together and it was just overwhelming to think about it.
Mhm.
But I ended up bitching up and I had already said yes. And obviously, it was also going to be a good opportunity for you to showcase your talents with your photography
To
and
practice, yes.
practice and everything. And so like you sent me some inspo. We talked about inspo. We had a little Pinterest board going. I figured out my
Mhm.
outfit last minute, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Lucy and I strategized. She came over, she did my eye makeup and then helped me get into my fit and helped me become a bronze goddess.
Yeah, for real. I was like, photographer,
It's called
outfit, like
Glaze by Lucy, by the way, if
body.
you ever want to book her, or Body Glow by
If you ever want to
Lucy.
get glazed by me.
Exactly. We need to trademark that. And then,
Mhm.
so yeah, so we did it and we went out to Laguna Beach and we went out to Crescent Bay and we timed it perfectly. We got there at the right time to still get good sunlight for the photo shoot. And yeah, so
Mhm.
I bitched up by doing it because I think I was a little, I don't want to say anxious about it, but I think I've gotten like self-conscious over the years when it comes to like
Mhm.
photos or just like I just don't take that much photos anymore as much as I used to. And so I think the thought of going through it and then being in such a public space that I was going to be like in my head about it and I wasn't going to have a good time. But it was so much fun. I like leaned into it. I was telling my sister how it was cool because it was like just like me and you and we were just with each other.
It was a very
And
intimate moment.
yeah, even though we were like obviously surrounded by a lot of people because there were so many people when we
Yeah.
got there. I told my sister it was just like me and Lucy just like on our bullshit. And it wasn't like I was like, oh my God, so and so's looking at me or who's looking at me or who's not or like whatever. It was just very easy. So I would like to thank you for creating that safe space for me. I told my sister I think it helped that it was Lucy because it felt safe. And then obviously
Yeah.
with all our content creation that we do for the pod, we kind of already kind of like
Mhm.
me and stuff. So it was really nice and I really enjoyed it. I tried to lean into it as best as I could and I had so
Yeah.
much fun. I
I
was
think even just the location itself was a good pick because you do like the beach and it is a very
yes.
safe space for you also because you're a mermaid. So it was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
was in my
oh, like we're
element.
just at the beach. We're just, diving into
Exactly.
the water, having fun. So I think even that's the aspect of that,
Yeah,
like, oh, I get to be in the water and be a little mermaid. I think that was also like a very safe space and what made it
I
fun for you
agree.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was fun. It was a fun environment and it was like I didn't care about getting caught up in the waves and stuff. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
I ended
Se
up like
revolcaron y todo.
yeah, like I was it I had sand in places one shouldn't have places. I was still like cleaning out my ears 2 days
Girl,
after. It was crazy.
yeah. I
I
had
was
sand and I'm like, I barely got in the water. And I'm like, how do
yeah.
I have sand everywhere? But well, since we are going to be posting this video literally like right after your birthday, wanted to
Yeah.
wish you a happy birthday. Happy
Thank
birthday, everybody.
you.
Let's sing happy birthday to Shelly if you're watching. Ready? Go. Happy birthday to you.
I'm
Happy
gonna do a little
birthday
shimmy.
to you. Shake your tits. Happy
Right. Oh, I didn't
birthday,
bring them out
dear
today.
Angel. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I wish I had my cupcake again where I
Oh,
had more
yeah.
cupcakes.
And will I say this photo shoot was very romantic too because we shared
Yes,
cupcakes
we did.
after everything. We're like, oh, let's sit
Mhm,
down, enjoy the sunset, which again was great timing because we did get to catch like the last
mhm.
couple minutes of it and we shared some of her birthday cupcakes and yeah, it was
Yeah,
cute. And then we
it
went to go
was
eat
fun.
and
Yeah, I
fill our
really
tummies.
exactly. Yeah, because it was a long day and the talent needed to eat. And
Yeah.
then the creatives needed to eat too. But yeah, it was a fun day. I enjoyed it. It was an impromptu beach day because we'd been wanting to go to the beach and we were there to do work, obviously. But
Hmm.
it was overall a fun experience. So that was my bitch up moment. My bitch up moment was that I did something that I probably would have decline to do otherwise. But like I
Mhm.
said, because it was you and I trust you and like your vision and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And also because it was going to be good practice for you. And then as I was psyching myself out of it in the weeks leading up to it, I was just like, no, like this is fun. You're having a good time. And I try to like lean into it. And yeah, like I'm proud of
Yeah, it's your
myself for that.
33rd birthday, you know, you're
It
never
was my
gonna turn 30.
Jesus year.
Yeah, exactly, it's your
Yeah.
Jesus year, it's a good milestone for you. A lot has happened in the
So I wore a
past few
toga.
years.
I'm just
So,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm just
She was
kidding.
literally the Little Mermaid when she got her legs, you know, like when she
Yeah.
puts on the sail, that's what her but it was like obviously fashion. That's what her outfit was giving. It was very giving like, "Oh, Prince Eric, save
It
me.
was giving
Kiss
I just
me."
got my legs.
Yeah, literally for some of the revolcadas que te dieron, like the olas, I was like, "Damn, she really
Dude,
just started walking."
no, literally, it was funny, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. So thank you for that. Thank you for one suggesting it and encouraging me. And like I said, I think you
And pusher. I'm a pusher, Katie. I push people.
yeah, but like I mean, I feel like you were just very encouraging and
Yeah.
supporting. Like you
Yeah,
weren't
because
like
obviously you're not gonna do something you don't wanna do, you know?
exactly. I
Yeah.
think you've known me long enough to know
Mhm.
that. So like I think you were gentle about it. And then like I said,
It's
you
like,
created a really yeah, and then you created like a good space for me there. So I felt like really comfortable doing it at the end of the day once I leaned into it. So yeah.
yeah, I'm really proud of you. And the pictures, I think, not to like
Yes.
tune my own
No,
horn,
the
but I
pictures
think
are
they
I
turned
have
out beautiful.
I was waiting to talk about it on the pod, but yeah, they're so pretty. I can't wait to print some of them out and blow them up. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'll probably
I was
get some
like,
bigger ones for sure.
yeah, no, that's what I was thinking too. Oh, like picture wise, which one would she blow up? I have one in mind that I
Mhm.
think would be
Well, there's
pretty
a
to blow. There's
couple
a
because
lot.
there's
There's
so
a lot.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. So I just thought they came out great, and my sister and my mom said the same thing, and I'm just like, oh,
I
I'm
know. I
so
was even
excited.
thinking, I'm like, oh, we need to get a picture of you, your mom, and your sister together, like a little
Oh,
female photo shoot over there of the you know the what is it the matriarchy of your family.
yeah, that would be cute. But yeah, that was
Yeah,
my bitch up moment. And yeah, it's
and
my birthday, bitches. So
yeah,
please send me money. I'm gonna go on vacation soon. So I will
we'll
take it.
post her Zelle right here, just like
Please do. Yeah. When you post my photos for my birthday, the last slide is gonna be myself.
your Zelle. You know what?
In case
People would
anybody
probably send you something. I'm
yeah,
pretty
a
sure, even if
dollar.
it's
I'll
just
take a dollar
even if
makes
it's
me
just $1.
holler.
Yeah,
Okay? It still
exactly.
makes me holler. So I
You're
don't
like
care
everybody
what
sent
economy
her
we're in.
$33 for her
Oh,
33rd
33 would be
birthday.
fun.
You know,
Yeah, that'd be a fun touch.
sponsor us. I'm just kidding.
But yeah. All right. Well, what are we getting into this week? Drum roll, please.
You're like,
So this
actually,
this week, we're back on our anthropological, sociological bullshit, and we're talking about concert
I
culture.
was like, when aren't we?
I know. I know, just like coming off of last week's episode.
This is like bitch up adventures instead of like Indiana Jones. I'm like, this is literally bitch up adventures and then just see what we discover and get into.
Yeah, and that's really how we go. That's the format of our show. Just things come across our desk. We want to talk about things and we just add it to the queue.
Yep.
Anyway, but yeah, we're talking about concert culture this week. And I think one of the things that we've been I mean, you guys know Lucy and I like concerts. We love experiencing concerts. We love a good live show. We like music, all kinds of genres. And I think we've shared some of our concert experiences throughout the seasons and such. But I think one of the things that has become very present to us as we've been going to concerts for several years is just the changing of the times, the changing of the vibes, and how even just the etiquette is a bit different nowadays from what we've experienced in past years. And so we got our thinking hats on. No, just kidding. I just we're like wanting to take a deeper dive on what is going on with concert culture now. What are the things that have influenced or impacted it in terms of the changes with etiquette, etc., and really looking at like the way technology has sort of played a huge role in that. And I think it's sort of there's a couple callbacks to our recent episode, the Drake episode, where we were discussing a lot about just like the music industry. We're discussing a lot about
Tickets.
the
Hmm.
tickets, concert touring, etc. So we're going
Yeah.
to dig into a little bit of that this week.
Yeah, I think, especially when it comes to like concert culture, obviously, when you mentioned the evolution in regards to like technology, you often see, I guess, complaints about when you see some type of clip on TikTok or whatever, where it is
Mhm.
someone's concert and people are complaining, like, oh, there's so many phones in the crowd. Like, that's all you see is just like white screens everywhere.
Yeah.
And some people are like, "Oh, they're not in the moment," right? They're not even enjoying, they're just looking at the concert through their screen. And
Yeah.
one of the things that, as someone who actually attends concerts, and I will say I'm very guilty also of recording,
Yeah.
um, but I will say, like, especially in this past year, that I've made it a mental note for myself to when I'm recording, not necessarily just recording the concert, but for me, recording has always been a sense of, like, memory and also, like, I guess documenting more so my life, but also my experiences with my friends and my family. Because when I do attend concerts, I do go with family and friends. Like, usually that is the reason I go to concerts. I don't think I've ever really been to a concert by myself, mostly because I want to share this moment with somebody because that's more
Yeah.
fun to me,
Yeah,
right?
I think
So,
Coachella is probably one of the only, if
yeah.
any, times that you went on
Yeah,
your
like a
own.
festival. But even then, I was like, "Oh, this would have been so fun to enjoy with someone." While I had fun on my own, I was like, "Oh, like so and so would have appreciated this so much," or whatever. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I think from at least my experience, I've made it a mental note to make sure I'm not just documenting whatever's happening in front of me, but also my friends like are we're having a great time singing along, and I
Yeah.
enjoy watching back on those videos, and just like reminiscing in the I think the energy most of all.
Mhm.
And so I did wanna ask though, like, because we are living in a time where technology is very present, I would say it kinda almost dictates the way that people live their lives. What
Mhm.
do you at least for you, what actually triggers, like, a strong nostalgic flashback for you? Because obviously we have, the memories on our phones, but then we also have, like, physical souvenirs, right? Like, not tickets anymore. Ticket stubs used to be, like, really good souvenirs that
Yeah.
people would like to
The
keep.
other
I know
day, I came across some from my sister and I when we first started going to concerts, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, what a different eran otros tiempos." Like, they don't do
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah, I know some people will purposely go buy tickets at, like, the window so they can get a
Mhm.
physical ticket, but obviously we have, like, merch now too, like concert T-shirts or any sort of,
Memento
physical.
from the
Yeah,
yeah, something
exactly. So
tangible from it, yeah.
yeah, or would you say it's more also just, like, a mental thing for you where, I'm just there, I'm watching, I don't get any merch, but I enjoy the time, and I just remember it through, like, some mental memory where I'm like, "Oh, this is that was a time," you know?
Yeah, I will say that, I mean, and I think we've all been not victim, but we've all been folks that like have utilized our phones to capture a memory, and especially at concerts. I think
Mhm.
when I first started going to concerts, I was just so excited to be there that it was also like really wanting to hang on to the moment. So it was
Mhm.
a matter of I needed and wanted to record everything,
Yeah.
right? And I had all the videos and everything. But then I think after several years, I think it started feeling more like I was just doing it so that I could just capture this moment to then post it online to be like, I was here. This is what happened when I was there. Right.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of got over that. And so I stopped recording as often, or like before, it was very important for me to capture the whole thing. Cause again, I wanted to capture the whole moment because these concerts were so fun and exciting to just see some of my favorite bands or artists live that I again wanted
Mhm.
to capture everything. But then also in doing it in my head, I was like, I can't be singing along because I don't want my fucked up voice to come out in the
In the
background,
video.
right?
Yeah.
So then I started policing myself when I was like doing that. Like I would be like, okay, if I'm recording, I can't do this, I can't do that. And so all of the like logistics of it kind of like ended up not necessarily ruining the experience because I was still there. I still had a good time, but it
Mhm.
definitely what like the experience was definitely altered by doing that. So that's when I
Yeah.
kind of started to pull back when I realized that was like not as fun anymore. Also, like my arm always like hurt so much to keep it up there after a while you're like shaking. So I was
Yeah.
just like, this enough, like I'm here to live in the moment and stuff. I do think that the part where you said of not just recording the actual concert, but also the vibes, especially if you're with a group of friends, if you guys are singing along to it, like that is so much fun to do. And I think that is better to do than just be like this, right?
Yeah.
Because even I found myself when I've recorded things that I'm like paying attention to the
The video,
the
right?
video because
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to make sure the video's good, like the quality
Yeah.
is good, the zoom is in, the lighting is good. And then I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, meanwhile, I'm missing out on the actual show, or like bits and people. Again, it just alters your experience. So that's kind of where I started falling out of touch with that. And I was just
Mhm.
like, you know what? I'm not going to put so much emphasis on recording the right thing, having the right content. It's just like being there, having fun. I'll take out my phone to record for a song that I like or a bit that I like because I'll probably want to post it, or at least this is something I'll want to look back at. Or if it's
Mhm.
just like recording with us between ourselves. But yeah, I think nowadays when it comes to memories, I do like going back to look at the videos. Not always. I think I don't do it as often as I used to back in the day
Mhm.
because the memories are still so vivid. But I will say that, like, for example, you know how you've caught a lot of the content from the concerts and like Coachella and stuff when we've been there, and like you have it on your highlights, and I've had some of that in my highlights too. Those are always fun to rewatch too, to
Yeah.
kind of go down and see the snippets of what happened and your favorite performances, and then just some of the fun stuff that we got into while we were there, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's how usually I'll do like a callback by just like looking at the highlights or like going into the phone or just like my own memory.
Yeah.
The merch is fun to have, but sometimes the budget's not there for merch. So
Yeah. Or
sometimes
sometimes
you
the
really
merch
just
isn't that great, like, I don't
yeah,
wanna waste $80 on this shirt that sucks
yeah,
or isn't great material. Got my
exactly.
face itchy.
Yeah, no, I agree. So sometimes, like, I think I'm more selective with merch, whereas before I definitely
Mhm.
always wanted to get something because I always think it's a fun souvenir to have from like going to this concert and being there. But I think I've also just like over time been like more selective of like, do I really need to spend my money on this? Do I really even want or need this?
Yeah.
But with that said, there are some pretty cool merch stuff that we've had. Like I still wear my Nicki Minaj.
I wear
I
that
love
shit
that
all the
shirt.
time,
I love that
yeah.
shirt.
I do. The way
And
actually,
you
the
can't
amount of
tell me
times
nothing. No, just kidding.
yeah. No, seriously, the
Just
amount
kidding.
of times that I've worn that Nicki Minaj shirt is crazy. I was like, "Damn,"
It's one of the
like,
best
it
merch I've
is.
bought in terms of
Yeah.
the quality and
Mhm.
just the fit.
And the Lady
Yeah.
Gaga one from Mayhem that I have also, like, that shirt, I will wear the shit out of that shirt all the time also. But to go back on your comment about I guess, the psychology of I was there,
Mhm.
I do agree. I think, obviously, people record at events because it is a form of gathering content to use on social media, right? Because, like I said, now we're living in a time where social media is used as a form of validation, right?
Mhm.
And, like you mentioned, it is getting harder and harder to get tickets, right, to some of these events, especially when it comes to like legendary acts.
Yeah.
I think there is this feeling that some of these people may never tour again or put out music again.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen that with like Britney Spears and Rihanna for now, right?
Mhm.
And the idea that I was one of those lucky people that got tickets to
To
attend
be
like
there
the
in that
last
moment.
concert, like we didn't know
Yeah.
it was their last concert, but it turned out to be, and I'm so happy that I went, right? So we have even more recently, we've seen many people get hype from like strangers online because they were able to get tickets to events or got to experience something at a concert that other people who didn't get tickets to that same
Mhm.
tour didn't experience. Right now, Jay-Z's on tour. I will admit I got a little bit of FOMO. I'm not really like I don't really follow Jay-Z like that, but I got FOMO because Beyonce
Shout
came
out
out
to
and
Jay-Z.
Rihanna came out, and I was like, why wasn't I there?
Yeah. But I mean,
But
how could you not
right.
how could you have known? I think Beyonce would have been like, yeah, obviously, because
Yeah,
it's
obviously.
Jay-Z. But
Yeah.
like you could have never known that
I
Rihanna was
mean,
just gonna
obviously
pop
because
up.
it's Jay-Z, it's like you would think, yes, but I'm like, Rihanna hasn't popped out like that in a
She
while,
hasn't.
and
Yeah.
so it's not expected. But I will say, I'm like, oh my God, those lucky bitches, they got to experience, and even people who went to like day one and day two, they're like, what the fuck? They got Rihanna, which is also like a very similar experience. Like, Cowboy Carter tour,
I was gonna say
Brianne
that
and
for you guys.
I
Yeah.
was so happy I got the moment that Destiny's Child came out because the way that Brianne and I freaked the fuck out in the whole stadium, like the
Yeah.
energy, like the phone does not do justice to the way that everybody freaked out because
Yeah.
literally the stadium was shaking and like you cannot hear for shit anything. So
You're like, I think I blacked out for a second.
no, yeah. And I was gonna say, I'm like, for me, recording is also and the reason I guess we kind of wanted to talk about this is because I did see a video on TikTok where this girl recommended this book called The Story of Your Life by Catherine Jaser Morton. And
Hmm.
basically, the book explores how social media shapes how we experience life, right? So she believes that one of the reasons why people record or they take pictures at events such as concerts, it's because subconsciously people are terrified of how deeply they're feeling those emotions. And them capturing that moment is a way that they've learned, or we've learned in general, to express whatever emotion it is that we're feeling at that time and how to manage
Interesting.
them. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with excitement and happiness at a concert, filming that moment kind of distracts you from those feelings because now you have busy work, right? Like,
Yeah.
be cool, bitch. We need to stop shaking. Like you said, we need to make sure the video is, perfect. Everybody can see. And I agree. I can kind of resonate with that a bit because I think sometimes I get a little overwhelmed and overstimulated because I am having such a great time that I do kind of black out. And I'm like, wait, did I just experience this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am happy that I do record because I'm like, oh, I can look back at it. And it definitely does put me again back
That's
in the
good.
memory, back in the
Yeah.
how the energy was and everything. It was funny because I think I was watching that TikTok that Brianna and I posted because my brother said that
Yeah.
he was looking through my TikTok and he's like, wow, you've done a lot of shit. Like he was going through my Instagram and he's like, wow, you've done a lot. And I'm like, you're right, I have. And I went back and I was like, oh my God, that was such a fucking great time. Like
Yeah.
I blacked out.
And it's
I've
so
never
nice
screamed
to
so hard in my life before.
y
Like I've never done
oh,
that
yeah,
before.
I remember
Yeah.
you were a little was it like
Yeah.
your throat was a little fucked up after it?
Yeah.
And that's
Girl
how you
lost her
know a
voice.
time was had.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing, we're historians at the end of the day, and who else but us to record our lives, whether it's photos, whether it's freaking videos, whether it's,
Mhm.
like, journaling and stuff. I think that as the creative person that you are, and I think just, like, in general, like, humans do like to record stuff, like, it's in our nature to do that. Obviously, people do it differently, but I do think that's interesting to think about, that perspective of us choosing to record is to kind of help manage or go through the emotion that you're feeling.
Or like your phone is like an emotional shield because if you're uncomfortable, like if you're even just being in a social place when people are uncomfortable, they take out their phone and they're pretending
Yeah,
they're
it's like
doing
a
something or
shield,
they
you're
scroll,
right. It's like
right?
a safety
So
net sort of
yeah,
thing.
exactly. So then I think that definitely was a food for thought for me because I was like, wow, like social media and technology in general has evolved so much that people are using technology as a way or are allowing technology to tell them how to live their lives, right? And this is what we've experienced now with AI, where people
Yep.
talk to like chat GBT and ask them questions or like tell them like, what do you
What
think,
should
right?
I
And they're like,
eat?
yeah,
What
what
should
should I
I
eat? What should I
do?
do? Should I talk
Who
to
should
this
I
person again?
date? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, wow, it was a long time coming, right? From, the point that social media started to where we are now has been
Yeah.
such a huge evolution, I feel, in such a short amount of time that
Well,
technology has existed.
right, yeah, and I just think about, like, when Instagram first started, what were we
Mhm.
doing? Taking photos of our fucking food and
Yeah.
posting it, like, and
Yeah.
it's been a slippery slope since. Now we're into reels. Now, we have the
Yeah.
highlights, we have this, we have that, and it has become such an intrinsic part of our day-to-day lives to a point where it inevitably does influence the way we experience life and
Mhm.
so forth. Yeah, it's very interesting
Yeah,
to
I will
think
say I
about.
think for me, especially Instagram has gone from because I will say, especially when I was younger in college, like I do think I definitely recorded and posted, not necessarily, I guess for validation, but also the validation of like having an interesting life, right? And
Okay.
I think even now, when I was going through my Instagram with my brother today and we were discussing stuff, I was like, oh, I don't really post as much as I do. I only really post when there's really big events that are happening in my life
Yeah.
because there will be like a moment of maybe like
There's a
skip,
gap.
right? From
Yeah.
like January to like April, there might be nothing, unless I have like a big
Because it's
event.
winter, baby. We're
Yeah.
hibernating. It's until
And then
springtime that
and
she
then that's when
defrosts
shit
and
starts
she's,
from like
yeah,
yeah, from like spring to like maybe
end
October.
of year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a little bit of Christmas. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, I do have some moments where I don't post anything, and the only things that
Yeah. You're
sometimes
not
even I
just
post on
posting
my
a post, I
stories
feel.
is like
Yeah.
our content for the podcast, like things like that, or if it's a
Yeah.
political thing that, we want to spread, like some stuff like that." So I was like, "Yeah, I do think I have taken a step back as far as like constantly posting or like I think I was like, you know what? I haven't posted a selfie just to post. You know what I mean? Just like a
She
random
hasn't thirst trapped in a
selfie
minute. Yeah.
that I've taken that where I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't going out anywhere, I wasn't celebrating something. I think definitely Instagram has almost become like a digital journal for me.
Yes.
Um, right? Because
I
I
see
do
that.
journal, but sometimes even when I was in Italy, I think I definitely took a mental note to definitely be in the moment and like not worry about posting on time or anything like that. I think that's
And I
something
think
that
that's
always
good.
baffles me, especially with concerts, because I've seen people who post literally in present time. Like they'll record the song and then post, and then they spend their time
What?
posting and editing while
Yeah.
they're at the concert. And I'm like, that is crazy. Now that I'm
And
like, yeah,
it's
that's a little,
bizarre too when you see people that like are just posting a post. Like they don't even know what the fuck they recorded. It's all a mess. It's not even there's no intention or creativity behind it. It's just
mhm,
like posting, posting, posting. I will say you've always, or at least in recent years, you've become more intentional about what you post. And to your point, because it is really like a digital journal that you're creating and you're capturing all these important moments of your life, whether they're whatever you're doing with friends, whether you're doing concerts, whether it's like big milestones for your in your life or also like,
mhm,
friends and family and such. So, yeah, I think you've been pretty intentional with what you post. And at the end of the day, like we've said, I mean, like I think I've said before, when it comes to social media, like, it's your thing. So you should post whatever you want. I mean, yeah, obviously people need to be cognizant of what they're posting for security
yeah,
reasons, if you will.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, just post what you want to do. Just do what you want to do because this is like your mark at the end of the day, right? Like this
yeah,
is your like I said, she's a historian and she's
exactly.
just
And
capturing
I
things.
do think when people are like, oh, people just post again because of validation, like I said, especially when it comes to like Instagram stories, when I'm posting like the concerts that I attend, I know people usually get annoyed because if some people have mentioned it to me, they're like, oh, I hate when people post like super long stories.
Then
And
just don't watch them.
exactly. So I'm
You
like,
can skip
now
over them.
I do make it a point to give people fair warning because I know people are chismoso sometimes and they like to know what people are doing. So I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm going to be posting a shit ton of videos right now.
You're
So if
like,
that's
prepare to
your
be
thing,
sick of me.
yeah, exactly. Don't watch for the next 24 hours. You know what I mean? So you're not like, I need to get rid of everything she's like posted.
Well, that's even silly, honestly, for people
Hmm.
to be upset about what you post. Cause, like, again, it's like just skip the goddamn story. You don't have to even sit. I mean, yeah, I guess you could
I know,
do
but
that.
it's the idea of like I want to know what she's doing or I want to know what this
Oh,
person's doing, right?
but
Because that
that's
is
their
social media.
pedo.
Exactly,
That's
but it's
their pedo.
still the thing of social media because again, we're living in a time where really that's the only way you have access to some people is through what they post. Even
Right.
if you don't know them or you don't know this version of them, you still have a sense of who they are or what they're doing, right? And I mean, I post for myself because I do like putting highlights and looking back at the shit that I've
Because
done
it's like
again.
you said, it's your
Digital journal.
digital journal. Yeah.
Yeah. But it does make me think as far as like how, again, I guess we could talk about how like social media and technology has impacted live events and live culture, right? And aside, obviously, from us wanting to be entertained, I, it is a
I,
two-way street, right? Because the artist also feeds off of the energy
right.
of the crowd as well, right? So
Hmm.
I think very similar to what we were talking about in the last episode where people in the club don't want to dance because they don't want to show up in the background of someone's video and then get judged for it. Very very similar here, right? People have a fear of being recorded because they're singing badly or they're crying their little eyes out because
Yeah.
they're so overwhelmed with like happiness that they're here experiencing this moment. And that's why sometimes you'll have people that are super stiff and they seem to be like, oh, I was forced to be
Aloof.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have people on the internet that are saying, oh, they didn't deserve to get those tickets. Look at them. They're just standing there like
Oh,
completely like
that's so
unimpressed.
annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just like maybe they're
You don't
just,
know what the fuck is going on inside.
yeah.
I'm having a catharsis right now, okay? It's my
I don't
childhood
know how
favorite.
to handle all of these emotions. So I'm just going to be
Es una
like in
experiencia
awe.
religiosa. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
No, because I think I have had moments, especially because in recent years I've been more intentional about experiencing the concerts while I'm there. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'll record and stuff, but I'm not so hung up about what I'm recording and how I'm recording it.
Mhm.
And there's moments where I've just like, just taking it all in. And it is this wave of, oh my God, how lucky am I to be here in this moment, to be experiencing this live, especially when it's an artist that maybe, I think with Hilary Duff, my mind was just like, and, or even when we went to Lovers and Friends, like I just remember that after that concert, and ironically enough, that concert, my phone died hella early. I forgot to bring my external battery, whatever. So I literally just had videos from early in the day and I had no charger. So I didn't get to re up or anything like that. And
Mhm.
so I just experienced the whole concert without having to be like, you know? And it was so, and to this day, it's one of my most favorite concerts. And I just remember after that concert, I just felt so full. Like I was just like, oh my God, like this was such a fulfilling experience and to be in it with you guys and just so much fun that we had. And it was
Mhm.
just so nice. And yeah, sometimes you are like, and then there's been times where you're also kind of just like starstruck. Like I remember I felt like that at the Beyonce concert when I went to
Mhm.
Renaissance. Because while I didn't know her entire catalog, in terms of like word for word, it was also a moment of like, wow, like she's just like, she's amazing. Like her
Yeah.
voice, the performance, and like we've talked before, like the attention to detail, the production is just like, wow, like this is like I just felt so blessed to be in there in the moment. I wanted to kind of roll back though when you're talking about like when you post a lot for like concerts and stuff. I
Mhm.
remember back in the day when I would post a lot more, especially at concerts and stuff. For me, it was a matter of like, I had so much fun and I just felt so like blessed to be in this moment that I wanted to share it with everybody else. And not for the
Mhm.
sense of, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing and what you're not doing. It's just like,
This is what
watch what I
happened.
saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here's like watch this. Like this was so much fun and hopefully like you guys got to see
Enjoy.
since you didn't go and enjoy parts
Yeah.
of the concert that I found enjoy like, and enjoyed as well. So and that's why I was like not trying to sing either because I was like if people are going to be seeing this, I want them to hear the vibes and hear the
Yeah.
people, like the artists, the music. I don't want them to hear my botched ass voice. And so I was just like, I was doing it for the people, I was doing it for the viewers and with the intention of like, you guys didn't get to go, but like, here's a glimpse of what happened and hopefully you
Yeah.
enjoy it just at least
Because even
somewhat.
like Brianne, for instance, I think is one of the people. She's like, "Wait, you went to a concert?" I think
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
she when we
She's
went to the
like,
Kanye concert, she sent me a voice note. She's like, "Bitch, you went to the Kanye concert. I see you just posted all of your videos. I'm gonna grab a
sit
snack
down.
after work and sit down and just go through your stories and watch the whole thing." Because obviously she knows that I do tend to post mostly the whole concert, and she's just
Yeah.
like going through it and enjoying it because she does, like you said, like she's one of those people that, oh, I'm gonna enjoy the concert and
Mhm. And through
just live
your
through
eyes.
live through
Yeah.
those. Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, exactly.
I think one of the and obviously we like to post on our stories and sometimes we'll post like very long clips of the concert, like from start to finish, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of also dives into how now technology has evolved so much and like social media has evolved so much that now we have people going live at concerts, right? Like you
Yeah.
have pages where they attend the concert and literally their phone
They're
will be up the
streaming
whole
it.
time streaming the
Yeah.
concert, which,
Yeah.
I think especially looking back at how live events used to be or used to exist, right? They would be private in a way because you were not allowed to take phones into the venues. That's why
Mhm.
concert DVDs were popular in the 2000s. I
Yeah.
remember I used to watch the shit out of Beyonce's Dangerously in Love tour and also Shakira's live and off the record DVDs.
Yeah.
There are some concerts that if you didn't get tickets to, you would not
Just get the
know
DVD.
what went down. Yeah. And you would have
Yeah.
to wait or hope that they recorded for a DVD special, right? Again,
Yeah.
now, if you don't get tickets, you'll still see clips
You can
online
still get
about
a
it.
sense for what the concert is. And
Or you can join one of those live pages that are going live the day of the concert and you can watch,
yeah, and the
which
thing
is,
with that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
which is interesting.
Yeah, no, and I think with the DVDs, you were getting like it wasn't one specific show. I mean, some DVDs were one
Mhm,
show that they recorded, but usually they recorded the entire tour and then put it together from that. So you kind of got a little bit of everything.
mhm.
Whereas I think here it's very specific to what you look up. For example, I didn't go to the Cowboy Carter tour, right? But if I would have looked up Beyonce Cowboy Carter, whatever song, from the Houston show, from the Vegas show, like I would get
Mhm.
what exactly would happen there. Yeah.
Yeah. And even now,
And different
concerts,
POVs too.
different POVs. Yeah, definitely. And I was going to say, speaking of POVs, even the concerts now are also engineered to look good on social media, right? The
Yeah.
stage designs are definitely catering to social media and like vertical content.
Yeah.
Where before it's like you had to turn it to horizontal content to even get the whole
Yes.
stage, right? And
Yeah.
get the whole experience. So now it's like you can just have your phone vertically and basically
And also,
capture everything, and then all even just like them bringing different artists to different shows so that it's like, oh, it's I want to go to the show or buy more tickets to attend more shows because every
because you're gonna
experience is
have guests.
different.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. So it's like
Yeah.
one person might go to two shows from the same tour because I'll go to the LA show, I'll go to the Texas show or
I'll
whatever.
go to the
And I
European one because they
oh
know these
yes.
artists so well, and they're like, "You know what? This Paris is, like, so significant to Beyoncé. I wanna go see it in Paris." Houston, what is it?
Mexico.
Atlanta, Georgia sometimes is like well, there's another one. There's, like, New York, right? Oh, Jay-Z's from New York. She's probably gonna bring out Jay-Z in New York because he always comes out in New York. That's like what's it? A pattern we've noticed, right? And
Yeah.
artists play to that, or sometimes they, like, keep you on your toes, and that's why, again, people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to all these concerts," and then, again, the whole validation of, like, I got to experience that legendary moment of this person coming out who doesn't perform anymore, or bringing back legends that don't do music like that anymore,
Yeah.
is an experience of themselves that even artists play to, even though they're complaining about phone usage at their concerts, right? So it's just like,
Right. They do
"What do you
lean
want?"
into it
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, they recognize that there's a market for that and that it essentially drives up interest. It drives up like sales for them.
Sales.
So they're
Mhm.
going to do that. Like I think a good example of that is like Cardi and her tour, right? It was a masterclass on how to put on a good tour and like the production, the costumes, everything, and even like the promotion for it, right? And
Yeah.
she was notorious for bringing out a lot of what is it, surprise guests or whatever
Mhm.
and having a ball with them on stage that people were like, "Oh my god, who's she gonna bring next? Like, who's she gonna bring out in Atlanta? Who's she gonna bring out in Miami? Who's she gonna bring out here,
Yeah.
in
Well,
Vegas or
even
whatever?"
just how the show improved over time too, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then, because I don't think she's toured before. I think this was, like, her first tour.
if
So
official, yeah,
definitely
like big, like
seeing
I'd
the
say
clip
big tour.
yeah, seeing the clips of the different locations and how much she improved, performance-wise, stage presence-wise, even just the, what's it called? Her stage
Production.
design and her
Yeah,
production, yes, thank you. And how much that improved and some of the things that they tweaked to make it better, right?
yeah,
So yeah, I do think it's interesting, but then I guess the question is, how do we find, like, a healthy balance between because, I mean, I don't really see technology going anywhere now that AI
it's
is
not.
so, like, present in everybody's life, so it's like, where do we get off, or how do we find a healthy balance between the 2 where technology isn't, like, taking too much over our lives, or we're not depending it so
Yeah.
much where it's now deciding factor in everything that we do like it's currently doing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, as much as we've been talking about the influences or just the changes and impacts of technology on concerts, on the concert experience, etc., I do think that technology has done a lot to elevate the experience too,
Mhm.
right? Like we have venues that like the TVs to allow for like
Or, like, the
wherever
Sphere
you
in
sit.
Vegas, right?
Yes, exactly. The sphere to really create an immersive experience. And one could argue that they do that for in order for you to kind of like be in the moment, put your phone down, experience all of this. But you know, people are gonna want to record it because it's like it is what
It is
it
a
is.
moment.
It
It's
is
the
the
moment,
moment.
you know?
And I mean, it works out for them because people seeing someone go to a concert at the Sphere and looking at what that experience is like, oh, I want to experience a concert at the Sphere, especially if
Yeah, it
it's one
looks
of my
cool.
favorite. Exactly. It looks cool. Yeah. But yeah, I think technology has done a lot to improve concert experience in terms of like the audio, the acoustics, the visuals, right? Outside of the artist actually playing a hand in it, right? Because we talked about how like obviously the artists and their team do get to say like, okay, I want to do this design or whatever, but like technology has been the reason why they're able to accomplish a lot of that at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I think the onus would be on us to just be more self-aware and recognize the influence of it, right? We both reflected on we've been going to concert so many years. Over the time, you've kind of started realizing, oh, I don't really need to record all of this from beginning to end. Maybe just a little snippet here. Hey, let me turn the camera around to capture what's going on around me and really capture what was happening in an atmospheric way, not necessarily just like here's the stage and the artist or whatever. Because
Like anybody can be
realistically,
behind that camera, right?
anybody can be behind the camera and you can get that content anywhere nowadays. It's very
Mm-hmm.
accessible. Like I said, I could easily go to YouTube and be like beyond the, and I'll get the same video that I
Yeah.
probably could have recorded, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's more meaningful when you have, like you said, like if you're there with your friends and family and you're like recording each other, being in the moment, singing along, being stupid, our little stupid comments that we kept saying at Coachella. I remember how you were
Yeah.
like, every time you were recording, Ale or one of us would say something stupid.
Yeah. Especially during the Justin Bieber. He's like, if he's like,
Yeah.
we can be, what is it? We can be
Like,
broke. And she's like, no, we cannot. She's like, I'm
yeah,
not manifesting that shit. I'm like, you know what? That is a good point.
exactly. Yeah. And like all the fun commentary and stuff. Yeah, no, I think it'll be up to us to really see, at least it starts with us, I want to say, right? Like as a user, like you have the power to put your phone down for most of the
Do
concert.
we though?
Yeah. Like, I mean, for example, I can think of what concert that I think the Beyonce concert. I was very like, this is my first Beyonce concert. I really want to be in the moment
Mhm.
and really take it in. So I think I recorded, and yeah, in hindsight, I was like, maybe I should have recorded more because it was such a fun concert and I would have wanted to have more memories from it.
Mhm.
But they live in my mind. It's fine. And I did enjoy not being like, oh, I have to record this song or, oh, I have to do this. And it was fun to do it.
Yeah.
And I felt that at other concerts too, especially like at Coachella. I feel like this year at Coachella, I was kind of like, I'm not going to stress about recording this, recording that. I'm going to capture what I can when I can. And it's okay if I don't get what I want to get. At the end, I wasn't posting anything anyway.
Yeah,
So
but
I
I
was
think
just like,
that's a
these are
little
my
different for
memories.
you because you
Yeah.
do have to record content for our content. So it's
Oh,
just like
yes. Yeah.
I do think because you do kind of teeter on the fact that before it's like if you did record something it was for yourself, but now it's like we do kind of have to record content for
Hmm.
content in general for this podcast. So if we're
Yeah.
doing activities, it's
That's
like
true. I didn't even
I'm
think
like,
of
oh
that.
yeah, now I have to get little even if it's not things that I would usually record, like us walking places, because it's again a form of content and stuff that now again we're so used to it. It's like really anybody can be a content creator because everybody's recording their
Well,
lives.
everybody is. Anybody
Yeah,
that's posting shit, you're a
it's
content
basically a
creator and
yeah,
don't let
true.
anybody else tell you otherwise.
Yeah. So it's like, what do you do in your free time? I'm a content creator. I'm doing
Yeah.
my second job.
No, and it really does feel like a second job sometimes, right? Like I think
Mhm.
when we went out with my cousin, we were in our heads, oh, we need to get content. We need to do this. We need to do that, right? And then we were like, okay, we're just going to do this real quick and then we'll go back to whatever we're
You know
doing.
what? But I think we were really good about it because we didn't spend a lot of time doing it. It was very much
No.
like, okay, we're going to do it real quick. It is what it is. And then we're just
Yeah.
going to go back to having fun. Let's get it out of the way. Where I could,
Yeah.
like, because even then, my brothers help us a lot when it comes to content. And so
Yes.
when I
God bless
asked for
them.
their help, they're like, how long is this going to take? Because I know you guys take some time, but I'm like, we are dedicating this day to getting, we're doing a lot
Everything we need to
for,
get. Yeah.
yeah, we're doing a lot for the day.
It's a
It's not just
marathon,
like,
not a
yeah,
sprint.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and especially for me, as a person who does enjoy taking videos, as a person who does enjoy taking photos and
Right.
capturing moments, I'm like, again, like you said, we are historians. And I do think it's important as far as like pictures go, especially now that I'm like practicing photography and whatnot, or studying it. I
She's a
enjoy taking
student.
photos
Yeah.
because you are documenting your family. I just told my parents, I'm like, I want to do a photo shoot of you guys together because I feel like, you guys are getting older. You guys are in your 30th
These are moments
anniversary
that
of
you
getting
want to
married.
capture.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like little moments that we should capture. I'm like, I don't think we have enough photos with each other. Like if my kids were to look back at photos the way I look at photos like from Christmas and stuff, there's not a lot, you know what I mean? Like, there really
Yeah.
isn't much. I document my shit, you know, but I don't
But like as a
necessarily
family,
as
it's
a
a little bit
family.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So these last few years, I think that's something that I've definitely kept in mind when it comes to documenting things. I'm like, I'm going to
Mhm.
document my friends. I know you don't like taking photos or like photos taken of you, but I'm like, bitch, I'm going to take a photo of you because we're going to look back on this day and be like, oh, you know, like this was the day
That
that
was
blah,
that
blah.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No,
But I
that's
guess,
I will echo that sentiment where I think as I've gotten older, I have recognized too, wow, we need to be more proactive in creating these memories that we're going to be able to have to share with our kids or with our nieces and nephews because back in the day, it was like our parents that were doing this. It was like my dad that was a driving force
mhm,
behind the camera, capturing everything. I mean, he still does it with his phone, but I think now it's our turn to have our own POV. It's like the traditions that we now will build for ourselves and for our family.
mhm.
And yeah, like we're older. Like I know there's times where like I don't have a lot of photos with my sister
Yeah,
because we just like
same.
don't fucking take pictures. It's not even because I'm going to post them. It's nice to have so that when we get older, we look back at these times and can recognize those like special memories. And it'll be something that if we wanted to print, you know, we were talking about capturing photos of your parents and their anniversary or whatever, those are beautiful memories to
Mhm.
have. And if you do want to print them up and have put them up in your house or whatever, I think it's worth
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And kind of going back to the concert and just being present too. Like if you guys want to set rules for yourself, which I do think
Yeah.
it's good, like we've set rules for ourselves, right? You know, a good rule that you mentioned is just recording the first song, right? Because usually the first song is always a hit. It's always a little bop that they start
Or
off with.
just your
Or
favorite
your favorite
songs or
song, exactly.
snippets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even I mentioned like it's so interesting that people post while they're there. So I'm like the rule maybe being a delayed post. Don't post during the
Yeah. Like
event.
you don't,
Record, get your
yeah.
shit, and post after because then it's also a way of
And on your
reminiscing
own
the night.
terms.
Exactly. Because
Yes.
I enjoy going back through my videos when I am posting. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still in the high. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
like reliving
ah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And or you can also just have one person be the historian for the night, right? I think that's sometimes something that we weirdly always fall into. It's like I'm just gonna record and I'll just tag you in everything that we did for
Yeah.
the night. You know what I mean? Or if you capture something, send it to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy's all at the end of the night, Lucy's always like, send me the photos you took, send me the
Send me
videos you
everything,
took.
bitch.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And
You're
I was
like,
like,
okay,
you
mom.
never send me anything. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like, because I never ask.
Also, you
Don't
don't let me
post
take photos
anything.
of you.
No,
No te
I know.
dejas.
No, but
You're like,
there's times that we do record stuff or whatever. But again, because I'm not like, oh, send it to me so that I could post it or curate it. But sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, like I should get that video because it would be
yeah.
fun to look back at it and stuff like that. But like I said, it just like goes over my head.
Well,
But
it's because
yeah,
sometimes I also don't send it to you because it's literally maybe 10 seconds of me and a 5-second video of you. So I think sometimes that's awkward also because I'm just like,
yeah.
you have a video
You're
of
like,
just this bitch
I
of
just have
me.
like, no, that's so funny because the other day I was looking at my shared albums and then I have your photo shoot from your birthday a few years ago. And I was like, oh my God, like I have all these, all of Lucy's photos in here. It almost feels like I shouldn't have these photos.
You're like, oh my God, it feels illegal.
Yeah. I was just like, I have like hundreds of photos of you in here.
You're like, what do I do with all of these?
Yeah. It was funny. But that was a fun day too when we did that. When you did that. Joey and I were there to support.
Is this when I turned 30? Yeah, right. It was at
Yeah.
30.
It
Okay.
was at the pink, what is it called? What was the
The
pink
Pink
house?
Palace.
Pink Palace. Yeah, that one.
Got it. I think one of the things you mentioned too was like concert etiquette, right?
Yes.
I think one of the things for sure, and I've done it sometimes too by accident, but it was like your flash being on or like accidentally putting the flash on because it's freaking
Oh,
dark. And I'm like,
yeah.
I've seen people post like videos of them with their flash on, recording themselves, turning their
Yeah.
back to the concert and then singing along, which I don't know how I feel about it sometimes because I'm like, whoa, shit's bright. And then it's like you're blocking my view because you're standing in front of me. But also at the same time, I always check myself then and there. I'm like, oh, they're having like a little moment. This seems to be their favorite song.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute. You know, it's cute to see people enjoy themselves at concerts. So, but when I see other people get so pressed about it and so upset and they're like, it just ruined my entire night. I'm like, you let something
That
like that
you
ruin your
let
entire night is
yeah,
crazy to me. But I'm like, yeah,
that's
sure.
on
Like
you.
people should have etiquette and make sure your flash isn't on the whole time. Sure. You know?
Yes. I do think there's something to be said about being considerate and when you're in a public space like that and when you're in a shared space like that. Definitely is a good idea to be considerate with the flash thing. I agree. Maybe don't be too obnoxious about it. Don't have it on the entire time. If you want to record a quick content or just for yourself and you're like vibing and doing it in the moment, like that's fine. Like I don't think I'll just make sure I get out of your way so that I'm not, but then I am focused over here anyway. So I don't need
Yeah.
to be stopping staring at what they're doing. I
Yeah.
think like
But
I think there is definitely like you said, it's just so long as you're not doing it the entire time, it's fine.
yeah.
Like
I
you
think
paid
people
your
maybe
money.
get upset with it because it's like we mentioned before, they're like, "Oh, now I'm behind this video." And it's awkward because I know I show up in it and now this light's in my eye and it's like, "Oh, great."
Be like,
And I
you know,
can't
just
and
kidding.
I can't be singing my little heart out because they're recording content, right?
Mhm.
So I guess like you said, yeah, it's definitely being considerate of other people in their space too and like
Yeah.
not like, getting over them trying to like record
Yeah,
something or
respect the space that you're in too.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it is annoying when people are either trying to get by you or whatever, and they're just not being mindful of the fact that you're there, and like that's where it does get annoying. And also like when people start spilling their drinks or throwing their drinks, for example, like someone's gonna get hit if you do that again. No, just kidding. So it's just do to others what you wouldn't like them to do to you, basically, is just like I mean, I would like to say common sense, but not everybody has that, it seems. Um,
I was going to ask, as far as like, how, I mean, because I know people complain too about like when people are screaming the lyrics and like singing their
oh,
little hearts out.
I've seen
How do we
that.
feel about that? Because at the same time, I'm like, isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you
Yeah.
have people recording concerts, they're like, I don't want to hear the person next to me screaming their little heart out.
Well, then you should have stayed home and watched it in the privacy of your own home. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
like even like the people that are gonna stand there and just like let someone else ruin their vibe because they have a fucking flashlight on. I'm like, news flash. Everybody around here has a phone. Everybody out here is recording it, whether they want to do it for the plot or they want to do it for the Snapchat or whatever. People
Hmm.
are gonna have their phones out. So you just need to fucking deal with it and have a better attitude towards it. Embrace it if you will,
Yeah. And
because it's like it's not going anywhere and you're just going to be stuck. Now you ruined the show for yourself after you paid money, just as much money as that person or maybe even more. You should enjoy it too. And it's the same thing with the singing. People are going to be there. People are going to want to sing their little hearts out. Yeah, sometimes it is a little but this is why I encourage people to get those little ear thingies, the earplugs so that you're not
I think
overwhelmed by all the audio. I mean,
I don't
I
even
get
think it's a
people
them problem. I think it's more so because they're recording and they don't want like
well
the song is now washed or was it
ruined.
the song is now like oh what's the word? It's you can't hear the song because so and so is singing the lyrics so loud, so
Which
you can't
is
hear the
kind
artist, right?
yeah, which
Yeah.
I can get the annoyance, but again, like if you're
It's a
at a
concert.
concert,
Yeah.
especially if it's a large ass concert, especially if it's like one of the artists that's like most popular and on and popping, it's gonna happen. So there's no
Yeah.
real way that you can shield yourself from that unless you want to have a private concert. And like that's just not how concerts are experienced. And
Yeah.
so I think people just need to like build a bridge and get over it and maybe find a way to kind of navigate those things so it doesn't completely ruin your vibe. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Tell them to stop screaming?
You're like,
Okay, good
shut the
luck
fuck
with that.
up.
Yeah. I will say for me, my biggest annoyance when it comes to concert etiquette is when people are fucking yapping during the concert.
Oh.
And when they're yapping incessantly, I'm fine with you kikiing and laughing with your friends. Hell, I do it all the time and making comments here and there. But if you're just out here just talking, yapping away for no good goddamn reason, things unrelated to the fucking show, shut the fuck up. That is where I will be like, shut up. Because then it
You
takes
like
you
go
out
to
of
the
the
bar if you
experience.
want to go talk.
Yes. It's like it does take you out of the experience because you're there. Like, I don't mind if people are singing along or whatever, but like sometimes there are certain people that are just sitting out there like Deliverance and they're just like yapping away. And I'm just like, trying to hear my favorite song. I'm trying to have an emotion. Okay.
You're like
And I'm just over here hearing
you're
friggin'
like
Tina.
I'm a chismosa, okay? I can't focus on my favorite song and listening to what you're trying to say at the same time.
Yeah, or sometimes
Kidding.
it's just stupid shit. So
Yeah.
that's I'm
Or they're
just
just
like,
complaining about something. I'm like, can you just enjoy the show? I'm like, oh my God, I'm
yes.
so fucking tired. I
So
can't
I have to
believe.
learn to
Yeah.
tune those people out. I need to
Yeah.
learn. And that again, that's a me problem because that is one of my biggest issues or when it comes to like concert etiquette. Like I can get over the yelling, the screaming and stuff. That's the part that kind of
Yeah.
like
I will say I enjoy when I mean, maybe it's not, maybe because it's not, actually, no, I was in the Kanye concert. I was next to the guy that was singing the song word for word, bar for bar. And I was like, wow, you really
that's
are
so
a Kanye
impressive.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I see your vibe. So sometimes I'm like, maybe we just need to like match the
You
vibe of the
vibe with
people
them.
screaming. If they're
Yeah.
screaming the lyrics, let's scream the motherfucking lyrics and sing our little hearts out. And like, how
Yeah, it
cathartic
could
is
be
that, right? Because
therapeutic.
you're like,
Yeah. It's
I'm like,
therapeutic.
yeah, exactly.
It could be very therapeutic. I remember at the Bad Bunny concert, how I was yelling my fucking lungs out and I was just like perreando and everything. It was the best thing. Everybody was fucking doing it though. And everybody was vibing. And the people that weren't, for example, like maybe some of his older songs that some of the people didn't know, like, okay, just they weren't really singing. And that's fine. Like I minded my business and I was like focused over here and
Yeah.
they didn't seem to pay any mind to us. So it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I always enjoy when people are have like know all the lyrics for every single song and are singing. Cause then, or sometimes when people just scream out of nowhere and I'm like, wow, you really needed to like release that. You know what I mean? That's how
Yeah.
much emotion and excitement you had building up, so much like energy that the
Yeah.
only way you can let it go is just screaming. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And sometimes it'll just come at the most awkward time where it's just like they're singing a ballad and they're like, I just need to let this out right now.
It's
I
just like,
can't keep this in as
who
she's
hurt
singing.
you? Just kidding.
But one of the things that I've seen a lot recently, which is a little weird to me, I'm not gonna lie, I am judging hella for the people who think like this. People who have a problem with people who are standing up and they're sitting down. And then they're like, it's so rude that the person in front of me is standing up during a concert. And I'm like, then why are you there? I'm like, we're not at a theater. We're not at a ballet where you have to sit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're not at a
Mhm.
movie. We're at a concert. Like the whole point is to stand, I think, to stand up. I
Yeah.
understand if there's
There's certain
people who
times
do
that you can
have
take a little
yeah,
under
that have like impediments where they can't stand. But at the same time, like there are specific seats for that where you do have a view and like people standing up is not going to limit
be
your
an
view,
issue.
right?
Yeah.
But I do think it's crazy when people go to concerts and they expect everybody around them to sit down because again, it's a two-way street. Like if I am an artist, I don't want anyone fucking sitting down. I want all of you guys screaming, standing
Mhm.
up, dancing your little hearts out because it is a two-way street. If I know you guys are having a great time, I'm going to have a great time. We're all going to have a great time. You know what I mean? And we're
Right.
all going to vibe and enjoy this energy together and
You feed into
kumbaya,
them.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting. I don't know what your thoughts are on that where people are complaining that people are standing up during concerts and being rude and it's like bad
Uh,
etiquette and bad manners.
I feel like if you want to stand up, go to the GA. No, just kidding. No, especially now at my big age, I do enjoy a good seat. I think it, again, just set your expectations. You can't expect to go to like a Beyonce concert, any of the, honestly, a Kanye concert and think that people are going to be fucking sitting down. Again, you should have stayed your ass home then. Like if you want to sit down without any like issues or whatever, stay your ass home. Like if you're going to put yourself in a public space, things are going to happen. There's a lot of like variables there, right?
Mhm.
Especially when they're like lively performers. You already know the type of performers and like ambiente que hacen these folks. Why would
Mhm.
you think people are going to just go and sit down? Like that's not how that works. And yeah, it does suck sometimes when you're tired and you do take a seat and other people are standing up, but it's like I'm just gonna sit down real quick and I'm
Yeah.
still here. I'm still in the motherfucking house. It's
I'm
fine. And
still a motherfucking house.
I'll catch you guys in the next song, or maybe, or sometimes it's like, this is not really my vibe. Or sometimes there are parts of the show where artists do slow things down and kind of chill
Yeah, and
out for a
everybody kind
second
of like sits
and
down. Yeah.
people read the room and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down real quick. I
Mhm.
might sit down for this song. Yeah.
Yeah. So you
I
can stay here, get your ass beat. You can stay here,
yeah.
get your ass beat. You can stay here
It's
and get your motherfucking ass
I
beat.
think it's unrealistic to be upset over that because yes, there's seats. Yes, you paid for a seat, but if the performer is not going to warrant like a sitting down performance, then what are you doing? Like, get out of here then, you know? I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever gone to a concert where I've been like, I'm going to sit down the entire time. Like when it, like in any concert that
Yeah.
I've ever been to, I've never sat down the entire time. So
Yeah, I don't even
why
I
would
was
they
trying to think
expect
of,
to
like,
do that?
what artist would you sit down for? I was like, maybe Adele, but I'm like, even then, she has some songs where I need to sing my little heart out and I need to
And you're
stand
standing.
to take
Yeah.
in breath, okay? To take in
Yeah.
breath for the amount of screaming I'm going to be doing for this
Yeah.
specific song because it's, if we're gonna sing, we're gonna sing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think too if like, I think more recently when we went to see Kasu, we
Mhm.
sat and it was because no, we didn't sit the entire time, but a lot of the people were sitting down too. But it was more because of like her melody and her ballads that she was singing, and there's just no need for people to stand up and sing it out like that, like some of the songs. So I think that was probably one of the concerts where I sat more, but it was cool because it really did like her production really felt like a theater and a stage, and she had such a good stage presence, and the story she was telling with her songs, it felt like I was watching a play, a musical of, if you
Mm.
will. And so it was really nice to sit down and take it all in. And there were songs that I did stand up for because they're a little bit more lively, a little bit more like dancey. But yeah, but again, most of the people there were doing that too. Like it was kind of like it was a consensus, if you will. It wasn't a like I was the only one standing and everybody else was sitting down or vice versa.
Yeah. I did see somewhere that there's this thing going back to, like, the whole aspect of, like, technology and, like, recording and stuff where when you depend so much on your phone to because again, if you decide to be, like, not recording at event and just taking it all in,
Right.
obviously, like, your memory distorts over time. You don't necessarily, like, remember every single detail. Like I said, I black out. So
Yeah.
it usually kind of almost romanticizes that whole thing, right? Because you're just thinking of the nostalgia of, like, of the magical moment, right? Because I'm like, I don't have anything to show for it. I just know that I was there and I had the best time of my life, and I'm romanticizing that day till now, right?
Yeah.
Versus, the video, like you said, it kind of locks that memory in place. And I don't know if again, for me, I don't think it really does it, but I know some people are like, because it locks that memory in place, it kind of strips away that nostalgic haze that you would naturally create, or your brain naturally
Oh,
creates, you
that's
know?
interesting. That's interesting if there's something going on psychologically or cognitively where we are like, oh, this is recorded in my phone, so I don't have to put it like I don't have to save it in my memory in a way that like hold on for dear life because I don't have any like this is all I have for that memory. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, and I have seen where
I under
has been research where they say that the more you rely on your phone to keep these memories, the less your brain works because it's like now your brain isn't functioning to keep
yeah,
those
because you're
memories.
dependent
Yeah,
on
you're
it.
dependent on your phone so much. So now it's like,
This is
okay,
why
this is why this is why people are depending on AI so much, right?
yeah.
And to
And why
do
it's so
even
easy for them to kind of adopt it because it's
Mhm,
like, oh, this is just another gadget that I can incorporate into my life to make my life run more efficiently, more easily.
mhm,
Even like when you talk about like the technology that has been implemented in concert venues, right? Like legit, like the way that it's sort of been implemented to make the concert entering like the logistics just more easy, right? Like you're oops, sorry, your tickets are on your phone. You just like
mhm,
you tap and pay. People are doing like what is it like cashless things. You have places where like instead of having to wait in line to get a beer and stuff, you just pull up to the little like slider doors, get what you want and pay real quickly and you just go and you don't have to wait these long ass line at the concession stands.
mhm.
Some people even allow you to order your food ahead of time. You just go and pick up. And again, and it's like a reliance on these things to make things more efficiently, more quicker and stuff, but also like realistically what is it doing? It's just allowing for like them to sell more. And
Yeah,
that's really what's driving these innovations, right? So it's like how can
mhm,
we sell more to people in a short period of time and make sure we cover more ground, right?
yeah.
Um yeah.
Well, I guess now, like, discussing how much of an impact technology and cell phones have made in people's lives, I think because people's lives are so mundane now and there's very limited third spaces, right? I think we can agree that concerts are a third space that, again, have been commercialized to an extreme now where it's
Yeah.
almost, well, now it is a commodity where it's like, right?
We've
It
discussed about how like it's sometimes they become exclusive in the sense of getting tickets is a whole fucking bitch. And we've talked
yeah.
about before
You're
how
going to
like
war.
ticket
The way that
sales.
people describe getting tickets, it's like, I'm going to war today. I
Mhm.
took time out of my day at work,
You have to
like for
coordinate. It's like
coordinate. Yeah,
phones,
exactly.
laptop. You have a whole team, like your friends.
Exactly.
Everybody's tapped in. Everybody knows what we're trying to get. Everybody knows the section.
Where
Like
we're
everybody,
setting, yeah, exactly. What we're
yeah,
looking at, what's the budget.
everybody's
And
tapped
so
in. Yeah,
and then so because everybody's lives are so mundane, there is this need for like again romanticization of your life. And because we have this mentality of being the main character and everybody's living like a little role in
I'm the
your movie, right?
protagonist of my own
Yeah.
life. Are you
You have
kidding?
your own movie going on.
Yeah,
You recording stuff about your life. We're no longer really experiencing life chronologically. There is this experience of like romanticizing life and creating an aesthetic for your life where it's more so like a B-roll of clips that are montaged together, right? And the reason
and that's
I thought of this is because I remember for the end of the year last year, I put a TikTok where it was a B-roll of clips of shit that I did throughout the year.
yeah,
And I was
same.
like, oh, I did so much this year.
And you're
And
like, I forgot
I
I did
forgot
that.
I did all of that, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Wow, I had a blast in 2025."
Yeah,
Like, I lived in 2025. So I was just like,
yeah. A
now
time
because
was
everybody's
had.
a time was had, right? So now it's like, again, people just even looking at a video of you recording the sunset at the beach, right? It's just something you kind of look back at and it's, you I guess even edit it, right, post-production and kinda just look back at it, and it's like, "Oh, it's just a B-roll of my life. This is everything I did," and I look back at it and I'm like, "Oh, great. I totally forgot I experienced all that. Well, it was
Yeah.
nice looking back at it. Now I have to go on to the next year and get all the clips from my life and look at the end of the year," and it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
there now we kinda have to balance life and being sure that we're in the moment and still keeping those memories locked, which brings me back to the conversation I had with my brother because he was going through my Instagram and he saw a photo that I posted of him when he was a young kid. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know you posted my 10th birthday." I'm like, "I did." And he's like, "Yeah." And the big 10. And I was like, "I posted you when you were 10?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then I saw a photo that you posted when we went on a pizza date. He's like, I owe like that memory is such like a what's it called? Like, it's a memory that he always holds with him, and
Core
I'm like,
memory?
yeah, it's a core memory for him." And I'm like, "That's a core memory for me too." When I think of you and times that we've hung out when you were young and we went out and got pizza together, we went to go get shake, and then we were just hanging out at Brea, and obviously, that's a core memory for me, so I'm like, it's funny that that's a core memory for you
Aw,
too, right?
yeah.
But I'm like, "But it's recorded," and so we still think about it, and I forgot I had posted it, but I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I did post it." So it's like, how do we balance, right?
How do
Where
you keep track of all
yeah, how do I
this?
keep track of everything? And again, this is why I'm like, I can see why people have an issue with recording everything, but again, it's like for me, this is
It's really
why
nice to have at the
yeah,
end of
it's
the day
mhm,
and to be able to look back at. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's not a one size fits all. I think it differs for people because people have different needs when it comes to and different intentions when it comes to like the type of things that they're recording, what they're
mhm,
recording and whatever. Obviously it's a personal experience too, so I think that people have to be mindful of that. And then I think we are always preaching balance of so long as you're aware of that or trying to be just as much as you're leaning into the technology of it because it's we can't run from it, we can't escape from it, that you're
mhm,
also taking the time to have those down times, to have like moments where it's just like you with whatever it is and you're not really like not necessarily overwhelming yourself, but like you said earlier, you're not distracting yourself with the technology of it, right?
yeah,
Whatever it is that you're experiencing. And there's things that you'll want to post, there's things that you'll want to record, there's things that you won't. There might be things that you record and take photos of that never see
you
the
never
light of day.
post. Mhm.
Exactly.
And I will say, going on that sometimes even that in itself is like a value for people who do record because it's like the idea of having something valuable. I was at this concert and I recorded and took pictures, but the idea, it's like almost like I could post this and people would be like so amazed, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. But it's so valuable that it's like a self-gratification thing where it's like, yeah, I was there. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm explaining myself correctly, but I don't know how I had something in my mind to compare it to, but yeah, but I think they're obviously, again, we as humans place value in certain clips for social media because of that validation, and just the idea of having something like that where you don't post it but you know you have it in itself, it's like a, I guess, like a mental, a self-validation aspect where it's like, yeah, like if someone knew I was here, or that I had
Exactly.
this, if
If
someone
anybody
knew.
if anyone ever steals my phone, if
Yeah,
anyone ever
the
cracks the
gold.
code.
And then it makes you think, right? Like, if your camera roll was erased tomorrow,
Mhm.
how much of your recent life would you actually, or
Remember.
would actually, yeah, exactly, would you actually remember, would actually stay alive in your mind? And I think that's, having to do research. I was like, what would
Well, f
happen if I lost my phone and I lost all my photos and
well
stuff that I haven't saved? And I'd be like, I would be devastated.
well, first of all my shit is backed up, so
Oh,
if
oh,
I
yeah, my
if it
shit's backed
happens,
up
no
too.
pasa nada.
Pero
Pero if you do miss it, I mean, it would suck, it would be devastating, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it is what it is,
well, like,
and then I would
also,
just rely on the memories that I made because I was there in that moment as these things were recorded, as these things were happening. And I will say if I ever lose my phone, I only know 3 phone numbers. And I don't know anybody else. And like when you were
yeah.
talking about the dependency on phones and how like it makes your brain not be as agile or just like, just remembering things. I think I'm really good at remembering things. When it comes to phones, I stopped memorizing phones like the second I got a cell phone.
Mhm.
I do not, and I think there was a period too where it's like I only know my sister's, my mom's, and my phone. And
Yeah.
that's because they're all similar now. Like we're all 987s. Okay.
Yeah.
I do
I
not know my
the
dad's
way
phone number, don't know my brother's phone number,
I
don't know
knew my
your phone number.
mom's
I just know it's
I
a
knew
714.
my sisters and I's off by 2 digits. My dad and my mom used to have the same phone number off by 2 digits, and the way I got so annoyed when my dad changed his number, because 'cause I'm like, "How the fuck am I gonna memorize this? I'm not gonna memorize it." You change
Yeah.
your number, like, every so often when you get a new phone, and it's, like, so annoying, and I'm like, "Can you just keep the same number?"
Your dad's like, "I'm trying to not get contacted."
He's like, "Don't bother me." No, but remember when I told you that my university account
Oh,
got
yes. Oh, you did
it
go through
deleted?
something like that.
And I
Yes.
had on my Google Photos, I had that account because I used it for college and it backed up on photos. And the way I was devastated when I lost a lot of those photos because I didn't have them anywhere else. And I was like, sure, I didn't necessarily look back at them, but I'm like, I know what I had, and I know there was some clips and some photos that I really, really wanted. And
Yeah.
I was so devastated. And even till this day, I get so fucking pissed because I'm
Mhm.
like, I knew I should have backed it up the moment I had a chance on like a memory bank or something.
Mhm.
And now we're here. And I'm like, it's
Okay, well, relax. It's okay. They live in your
fine.
mind rent free.
Yeah.
I will say a similar thing happened to me with, like, MySpace, where, like, there's so much content and
Yeah.
photos
So much
that, like,
photos.
were lost in there virtually, and it sucks. I
Like all
heard
my
that
junior
MySpace.
years, all my
Yeah,
junior high years are gone. Like I have
and
no photos of me in junior high because they were all on MySpace. And any of the phones
all
that I
my, like,
had,
digital
I'm like,
cameras and their photos, the same,
gone.
lost in there.
Yeah.
The same thing with Photo Bucket, and then I had, well, no, my sister had her first laptop during college, and that's where I had all, like, my memories saved, like, everything from my digital cameras that made it into MySpace and even then some was all on her laptop, and then her laptop got fucked up, and so those memories are also lost, and those were like, that was my first, like, because it's like, I will never have those again, and they
Yeah.
just live in my mind. They
And
really
now
do.
every
All my
time I look back, I'm like,
selfies,
ah, what a time.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe that's why people are like, "Oh, what a time back then." Because now you're just living full off like nostalgia and romanticization of your life, even though maybe it wasn't all good, but you tend to look back at the best times of your life. And, if shit was to go down with social media, I would definitely lose everything I posted on Instagram. But I'm like, yeah, I have the
But you
memories
live
though.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you know what you could do? You could just, like, take your pen to paper and start writing down all your memories
And
as you
that's
remember
why,
them.
yeah, that's why I'm trying to make it more of a habit to write down stuff. Literally, I was a little mad at myself that I didn't write in Italy during the time that I was there, but
You
because
were
I'm like,
living.
yeah, exactly. But I'm like, I did want to, I, but actually, no, because I think I had a good memory when I was
Mhm.
writing down everything that did happen. I was telling my journal what happened and the things that I did. I think like a good little summary of everything. So I'm like, I think overall, if someone were to read it, they're like, damn, she had a fucking
Wait
amazing
time.
time, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I need to make it a habit to write more
I
and
Yes, I do think it's a good habit to have, but also I think that you don't have to pressure yourself to do it to the point where then it
oh
takes you
yeah.
out of the experience. That's why I'm like, I'm glad that you didn't ultimately like force yourself to write if you weren't really feeling it. Cause I feel like if you felt it, you would have like gone
Yeah.
to town. You were like living it. And
Yeah,
then
and
like you
obviously it was more of like matter of fact, like, oh, like my brother and I went to this concert, was such a great time. Like I know he's like, and again, most of the times that I do anything that's like concert related, it's because I want to experience it with someone.
yeah,
Or even if I'm not like the biggest fan of that person, if I know that, my brother or even you are like a big fan and it comes across my desk, I'm like, hey, did you see this? Is this something you're interested in? Because I will make it
yeah.
happen. Let's go. And
Hmm.
usually I am the one pushing my brothers. I'm like, we should go. I know you really want to go to this concert. And they're like, I don't have the funds. I'm like, don't worry about the funds. Do
You're
you want to
like,
go?
exactly.
Did I
Yeah.
ask you if you can pay? I'm like, I asked you if
That's
you
not
wanted to
my
go.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I don't have the money though. I'm like, that wasn't my question. I'm asking you if you want to go. When do you want to go? Let's go. And
Well,
now,
in
yeah.
that case, no, just but yeah, no, I actually I'm remembering of, and it's funny because I was actually playing them earlier today, and so that memory came up. Remember when I dragged you to go see Porter in LA?
Yeah. And I was thinking of that. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so I was listening to them earlier, and I was remembering how we went to that concert, and it was just like at the smallest venue. I think it was at El Cortez, I think, at in
Yeah.
LA, I think.
Yes.
And yeah, and it was like a fun
No,
experience.
wasn't it the Wiltern? No.
No,
No,
that
so
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Wiltern, we went to see a comedy show there for a
Oh,
podcast
okay.
I used to like listening to. Um, yeah, and I was like, "Oh, that
Yeah.
was so much fun," and I really enjoyed seeing them because I hadn't seen them since no, not was it? I think my sister no, because we didn't even get to we saw them at La Tocada because I was gonna say the last time we saw them was Tropicalia, but no, we
Mhm.
were supposed to see them at Tropicalia, but I don't know what happened, but the point was that they didn't make their flights, so they didn't show up. And I
Yeah.
remember because my sister and I were devastated. So that's why when they were on tour and they were in LA, we're like, we gotta go. But I forgot what happened with my sister, and she wasn't able to make it. So I was like,
Yeah.
I have a
I
free
was
ticket.
literally
You want to
thinking of
come
that
through?
today. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh." I think I was thinking about that because, I was thinking about how some people won't accept last minute invitations because 'cause they're like, "No, I think that that's rude if you're a last minute invite
Oh,
because then it's like you're not top of mind." But then I was like, "No, because
in a moment
sometimes
where,
in a moment where someone can't show up and the first person they think about is you," I'm like,
yeah,
"Yes,
I don't
let's
know how that's
go."
offensive, but because
Yeah,
it's
or
like,
I'm
it's
like,
not about you, okay? Because
or the
guess
amount of
what?
opportunities you miss out on because you feel some type of way or you feel defensive. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you look how many concerts you could have gone to if you just
Or
took the
just
invitation.
experiences
Yeah,
that you could have had.
exactly. Well, anyways, did you have
We
any,
went on a lot of
yeah,
tangents.
so many times of mememories and experiencing life?
Yes, this was fun. Final thoughts on it, or was there anything else
Final
in
thoughts, well, okay, sorry. I guess the
yes.
question is, now because technology is so present and obviously everybody's recording and stuff, what would be what could venues do? Because I know a lot of people we can go back to the times where venues didn't allow phones. I know there's been suggestions where venues put lock away phones, which I'm like, I don't think that would
I
be the
don't trust
best
that.
because exactly nobody
It's a
trusts that.
logistical nightmare where, like, phones have been stolen before, people that do
Mhm.
that, no. I
Yeah.
don't think
So
that's a
then
good
the
idea.
question would be like, would they have to ban phones very similar to how you can't take a bag, like the no bag policy, right? Would it be like no phone policy or you can't get in, right?
Yeah,
And how would that impact
it's
the
sales
culture,
and stuff. Yeah.
sales,
See,
concerts in general?
in an ideal world, this is what I would recommend. If, and obviously, if it makes sense logistically, if it makes sense for the artists and the teams too, if they can have shows that are phones that are banned, so the people that want to have a phone ban experience can go and they willingly go, they pay for the experience, they know what they're getting, and they're going to have that. And then you have people, then you have the phones experience. So the people that want to have their phones and do their shit, they can. Like, I feel like that's an ideal. We have the best of both worlds, that the people that
Ye-
want to be phoneless,
mm.
phoneless,
I was
the
gonna,
ones that
okay.
do, but I don't
This,
know if that's like practical, you
yeah.
know?
Is this assuming that the concert's the same?
Yes.
Okay. So there wouldn't
Yeah.
be like if you're phone free, it wouldn't be like a completely different experience, or
It
do you think
wouldn't.
it right?
But it's theoretically it wouldn't, right? Like the artist and the performer and like their production team, they would put the same show on for both
Mhm.
days. But obviously, let's be real here. It's not going to be the same exact experience because you're going to be with a different crowd. There's a difference between having phones and not having phones. The experience is going to be ultimately different, but you're still getting
Mhm.
the same thing from the performer, right? And I
Yeah.
guess that goes without saying. Like, again, one has to be realistic and understand what comes with the territory of you choosing to go to a phoneless versus a phone thing. And also if the prices are reasonable, because I don't think it would be fair if we start seeing like a markup of prices for
Yeah.
places where
For
like
not
the
having
phones are,
phones. Yeah.
yeah, or vice
That makes
versa,
sense.
you
And
know?
it's like you're already doing so many dates in one place, so it would make sense to have at least one date where you don't have phones. And
Yes.
even if it's
Even
just a
just one
test,
day.
right? Just one
Yeah.
date, right?
Let's try it
Because
out. Let's see
some
how it
people will have
works.
like what, 3 days. It's usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday that they will
Hmm.
have dates in that location, and it's like
Yeah.
we can make Friday the no phones day because either way you're going to have the same concert, same production, everything's going to be the same, but just no one's recording, right? And it could
Right.
even it would be interesting to see what artists can do that and
Yeah.
test it, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
test it out and see what the sales look like. How many
mhm.
people lean into that? And if it
And like
becomes
energy
popular,
wise,
yeah,
how does that affect the energy that people I mean, I guess even conspiracy theories, because you know how they say like it's an energy harvest when people go to concerts and like right. So it's like,
true.
oh, if you fall into that conspiracy, it's like maybe more artists would lean into it if it works out because it's like more energy to harvest. Ah, a little dark. But
And that you had to go there. You just
I
fucking had to
did.
go there.
I did.
Lucy with her little tin hat, her little foil hat.
Yeah. Put it on, people. It protects from the waves. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I will say that I remember there's been a couple of shows that I've been to where the artists have been like, everybody put your phone down, and we're going to do this song again. And this is where I got the idea of let's just do separate shows and stuff. Because artists, I think, would like to lean into that. And I've been to concerts where we played the song and it was amazing. Everybody had fun. And then you had the band be like, all right, we're going to do it again. We're going to play it again. We're going to have just as much fun. But everybody put their fucking phones away. Just be
You know
here, be
what?
in this moment, and let's fucking like rip, you know? And
I think
it was fun to do. And even though it was the same song, it was a different experience and it
yeah.
was so much fun. So that's why I was like, in an ideal world, if we can do this and that, that would be great. And then that
I
people have a right set of expectations when they attend whichever show they choose to show.
Because it's like
Oh,
you
great.
paid for the ticket, you paid to not bring your phone, so it's like, yeah, like
Yeah,
you chose this. I was gonna say, I
exactly.
think Justin Bieber did a private show in a venue. I don't think a lot of people knew about it, but I don't recall ever seeing clips of it. Maybe I did see a couple clips, but I did see a content creator say that they attended and they were like it was so cool because it was so private and like there was no phones, no one was recording, so
Yeah,
it was interesting to see the vibe. So I'm like it would be interesting to see that on a bigger scale and kind of go back to the 2000s where people you didn't allow cameras, you didn't allow any video recordings of anything, and it was just like if you get to go there and that's the privilege of being able to attend a concert. But it's like who can do that, who has the power to do that where it's respected and people aren't going to
that's what
shit
I'm
on
saying.
you.
Like, how
And who's
practical
brave
is
enough
it?
to do it because it's like
Yeah,
you are cutting out a very important um key, I guess, when it comes
aspect of,
to promoting your show, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I would say the people to pilot this, I mean, I think it'd be easier to pilot it in smaller venues and to build it up from there to test the practicality of it, to test like the buy-in even from the consumers. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I think it's in an ideal world, like that's what I would recommend. Let's have days for non-phone usage and days for usage, and then people go to whatever fits their vibe. Because
mhm.
I feel like it would be hard for artists to just be like, okay, no phones ever.
Yeah.
Because like as a consumer, I'd be pissed. I was like, I had to pay this much money. I want a fucking memory.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to be able to look back. Who knows if I'm in this economy? Who knows if I'm able to see you again?
Yeah,
You
because then
know?
it's like, if you think about it, if no one's recording, right, you could technically up your sales through merch, but then that also means that if I don't have a memento because I'm not recording, your merch better be fucking sickening. And so now the creativity for the artist and their team to make merch, because I know there's been complaints about merch not being great or not being creative or just being basic
Right.
and boring or not
And
making
fucking
sense.
expensive.
So it
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, exactly. It pushes the artist to where can we be better, right? And merch,
Yeah.
I think, is definitely because even Beyonce and the Cowboy Carter, like her merch was depending on the city. She had merch depending on what city
Oh,
you
I
were. So there
remember.
were
Yeah.
people sometimes that would go to multiple shows just so they could get that merch because it wasn't available on the website. And then eventually, after her show ended, I think it did become available, or some shirts became available. So, but some of them again were just like a rare shirt.
Hmm.
You didn't get it anywhere else. So I do think it'd be interesting. Actually, I think it would be interesting to see if Beyonce would ever consider something like that, where she did one show that was no phones. I think she might I think she would be an artist that leaned into that, or even Doja Cat, I think. But then again, I don't know how much, if she would be able to pull that off just because of the tension that she has with her fans sometimes, because there's a lot of tension there sometimes
Oh,
too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, I guess at the end of this, it would be making sure that you guys live a balanced life and making decisions to, yeah, put your phone down and live your life and not having to record everything and just experiencing people really and friends. I think again, it's a lot more about emphasizing and encouraging community overall rather
Hmm.
than doing it for the gram or doing it for content.
Right. Or to seek validation through that, like you said.
Yeah.
But if you do, we're not gonna judge you for it.
Yeah.
Go forth.
Again,
It's
it's
just
a
like
balance.
we would just encourage you to, as much as you're doing that, that you're also like embracing the downtime that you do have and getting just as excited about doing some of the mundane and day-to-day things that you do when your phone's not turned on, and
Mhm.
turn on like looking at you like you're or in a POV setting.
Yeah.
Because I will say that as much as we have certain concerns and criticisms over doing this, I do think that this virtual space has allowed for new community spaces, right? Not all
Mhm.
good, not always, right?
Yeah,
But
way
the
social media has
access
been like a third
space.
space,
Yeah,
a
a virtual
very
space. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
And
which
when
is, you know
Yeah, in its own right, and it's allowed
mhm,
for some people to connect, maybe people that wouldn't otherwise connect. When you're
mhm,
looking at people, like whether it's an influencer that you follow or someone that you meet online because of the content that you post or the content that they post. And some people have built good connections through that. So like I think there is positive in it as well. But I think as everything, you just want to be cognizant of what you're doing and how much
yeah.
time you're spending and it's just like be
How
careful.
many times are you reaching for your phone just out of habit, you know what I mean? Because 'Cause
Yeah,
I'll
that
catch
would be a
myself
good
yeah,
exercise.
I'll catch myself doing that sometimes where I'm working, and then I have a need to, like, check
Yeah, that
my
was me
phone,
today, and I was
but
like,
I'm like,
"Bitch."
"Bitch" yeah, exactly, I'm like, "Why are you checking your phone? No one fucking calls you or texts you, bitch, no one cares about you." I'm just kidding.
I'm just like, "I
Um
don't wanna work, though. I
Yeah,
need a
exactly,
distraction."
and I need a distraction, but I'm like, "No, you need to focus." So, yeah, I think definitely keeping an eye of how many times you reach your phone and why you're reaching for your phone and why you think you're doing that. Is it because you're bored? Is it because you think your life is so mundane that you have to find a distraction to distract you from the fact? And if that's
And
the case, then you need to do more things to make your life less mundane and make time for yourself. Because yes,
agreed.
we're all busy, but you need to make there's
People
you have
shouldn't
to
be
put
bored.
effort. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to put effort into having a great time. Okay, get your ass up and have fun. It's like
And
no one
when
wants
we
to have fun these days.
no, and I think and then when we say have fun, obviously fun could look like a bunch of
Anything.
different things, you know?
As long as
But
it's
I think it's
safe
just doing more
and
things
legal.
for yourself, just like pouring
Yeah.
into yourself and yeah, I think reflecting, I think it would be a good exercise to go this week. And when you do find yourself reaching your phone, like you said, why are you reaching for it? Because I will say that I low key was thinking of that earlier this week because I noticed, I don't know if it's because of the heat wave we're on, but I've noticed that
Yeah.
my phone has been overheating a lot. And it's even like I've had to constantly plug it in because, oh my God, my battery's dying. Oh, let me plug it in because I was doing this or I need to do this or whatever. I was just like, why have I had to like reach for my charger so much more often this week? Like, have I been using it a lot more?
Like,
What am I running away from that I need to like distract myself, you know?
yeah, like, I'll open my phone and then I'll check Instagram or check TikTok, and I'm like, "Bitch, no, focus." And then I'll put
Yeah.
it down, and maybe, like, 2 minutes later, I'll reach again, and I'll do the same thing. I'm like, "There's nothing new here for you to see." And, yeah, but I'm like, I will say, I do think as far as, like, TikTok or even posting myself that I have taken a huge step back in doing, where sometimes I won't go on Instagram for a while,
Hmm.
and then I'll be
Me
like,
too.
"Oh, I haven't been here for some time. I don't even know
Yeah.
what's going on anymore." And then I'll
It's
binge.
nice. Yeah. It's nice to do that, to like step away from it every now and then. I think it's also interesting to see how our relationships with social media have evolved as we've grown up, dare I say, or
Mhm.
just like in the past years. Because I feel like my relationship with it has certainly changed. And I don't know if it's for better or worse, but then I still enjoy very much being on there, at least as a spectator and consuming things. So
Yeah.
give
So,
me
yeah.
all the content.
Yeah, I think the takeaway here is, again, when you pull out a phone, are you pulling it out because you want to remember this moment, or are you pulling it out because you can't handle the weight of the
Mhm.
emotions that you're feeling during the time? So I think that's a good thing to kind of think about and kind of get you in a mentality of like, why am I doing this? Why do I have my phone so much? Why am
Yeah.
I depending on technology so much? And I think once people really start considering that maybe it'll be easier for us not to depend so much on technology and make it a point to like, okay, I am depending too much on my phone, or I am depending too much on AI, and I need to take a step back and
Yeah,
put
and pour that
boundaries.
energy into
Yeah,
something else, maybe a new
exactly.
hobby,
Mhm.
maybe a nap. Give me back the amount of times that I'm like, let me just chill here for 5 minutes and take a quick nap. Next thing I know, I've been on my phone for 30 minutes. There goes my nap time. And
Yeah.
it's so
And I'm
annoying.
like, "I'm gonna go to sleep in the next 30 minutes," an hour passes by, and I'm like, "Great,
Now I lost an hour of sleep.
I lost an hour of sleep."
I think
Oh,
if anything, just try to be more intentional with your usage of technology, your phone, and any other technology. I'm talking about AI, I'm talking about whatever else you're using at work or not. Just being more intentional, I think, is helpful
yeah.
all around. And like you said, boundaries and balance.
Yep. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys felt something and really look inside and be introspective
Yeah.
about what you do. Have a great day. Happy birthday, Shelly.
Oh,
Wish
yes.
Everybody wish Shelly a happy birthday. She's gonna be on vacation.
And
And
I
don't
will be
forget to
off the
send
grid.
her Yeah, don't forget to send her
So,
$33. I'm sure she'll catch us up when she gets back
yes.
from her vacation. But yeah, see you guys on the next episode and hope you guys have a great time.
Bye. See you next
Building
month.
memories. Bye.
Love ya. Bye, everyone.